Hello everyone, my name is Jekaterina Romanova and I'm the CEO of PrintEmet. In PrintEmet, we are producing biomimetic spider silk, which we use for different medical applications. Oh, yeah, sorry. So now I want to start with this one picture. Just imagine yourself that you are walking in the forest and you see this spider web. What is the first what you are thinking about? At the first look, it seems so fragile. But this is definitely not the truth. Actually, spider silk is even more taut than a steel. It's one of the most strongest and the flexible material in the world. And then, if you think more about it, this material is also biocompatible. This means that our organism does not reject on it. But now I want to tell you more about how the spider silk actually can be used in medicine. During this presentation, you will learn actually what spider silk can open for us. So actually, everything what we need, we already have in the nature. As I already mentioned, the spider silk, it's very strong, first of all. Stronger than steel. Even you can make out of it bulletproof vests, if you can imagine. If you can make a rope of spider silk, which is the same as your arm, you can even stop the plane. And on the second hand, the spider silk is very elastic, because the strength without elasticity also can cause the brittleness. So this is also important, that the spider silk is very elastic in the same time. And as I already mentioned in the third step, spider silk is biocompatible. The spider silk actually has the scaffolds which are similar to our cellular matrix, which helps us to form and to grow new cells in our organism. So it's possible even to use the spider silk to form the scaffolds on which you can grow extra cells and form artificial organs from it. However, there is one problem. You will think, if the spider silk is so perfect material which you can use in the medicine and actually also in wider applications like in textiles, in the defense and so on, but still, why don't we have the spider silk even now using everywhere? The answer is simple. Actually, it lies in the nature of the spiders, because the spiders are very territorial animals and even they are cannibalistic. So if you want to farm the spiders, for example, like silkworms, you cannot do it. At the result, you will have only one very fat spider, because he will just eat other spiders. So this is the main problem, why still we cannot have the spider silk using everywhere, because in large scale, it's actually quite hard to produce the spider silk. But there is some solution. Biotechnology, actually. The scientists have spent more than a decade to find the solution how actually to produce spider silk. And there are now the main three production methods. One is actually the bacteria and the yeast. So this bacteria helps to produce the spider silk. For example, it's the method as you are brewing the beer. So you can produce with these bacteria, but not the beer, but the spider silk. Then there is another method, which is with transgenic organisms. For example, now there is the method how to produce spider silk using the goats. So they are producing the spider silk in their milk. And after you clean it off the milk, you get the spider silk. This is quite unbelievable method. I have never seen it in reality, but I have heard about them in literature. And the third, the most common one, is bioreactors. So this is more, let's say, biological method how to produce it. In my company, actually, we use mostly the first and the last method to produce spider silk. So we use the bacteria with spider genes, everything goes in bioreactor, and at that we get the spider silk in different ways. For example, first of all, the spider silk can be like the gel. So you can use then this gel in different cosmetic applications and so on. And then you can spin it and make the thread of spider silk, which you can use in different medical applications. So now let's think more about different medical applications and where spider silk exactly could be applied. First is the wound healing and the sutures. Actually, this is very good application for spider silk because of its properties. You can make very thin ropes from the spider silks to use in the sutures in different operations. For example, to treat the nerves or even to make the operations for cornea of the eyes. For this operation, you need to have the material which is in the same time very strong, and also it is biocompatible and biodegradable. So it means that after the wound heals, you don't have this stitches in your eye or somewhere, it just disappears, so it resorbs in the body. Then there is another application, which is drug delivery systems. This is very interesting and important application because some drugs which are used, for example, in the chemotherapy, they affect the whole body, not only the tumor. But with artificial spider silk, you can encapsulate the drug and release it specifically where it's needed. So this helps to avoid the side effects which cause this drug to the whole organism. Then another application is tissue regeneration. The spider silk, as I already mentioned, helps to form the matrix, which is similar to our body. So it forms the scaffolds, which allows to grow up the new cells on it and form some artificial organ. In our company, for example, we have even made the prototype of artificial heart valve, now which is fully made from the artificial spider silk. And later on, we want to also, let's say, make it more specifically for some patient and grow up it with specific patient cells. So then this organism does not reject the heart valve. Additionally, as I already mentioned, that spider silk is very good biocompatible material, then there is applications for the medical implants and different coatings. This is already very quite known application, and they are using it to coat different implants. Even sometimes in the breast implant, they use the coatings of artificial spider silk, so the body does not reject these implants and does not cause immune reaction. Of course, the journey from the lab to life is still quite long, because nowadays there are mostly three main problems why we are still not using the spider silk so widely. Actually, first of all, it's scaling problem. As I already mentioned, it's quite hard to produce spider silk in the large amounts. And now the mostly scientists are working on the method how to scale up the production way, because one is to produce it, let's say, on the small scale for some samples or for laboratory testing, but another way is how to produce it actually in big quantums to be able to produce some medical devices to the big patient number. Then, of course, clinical testing. This always takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. To go through regulatory pathway, it will take at least from 5 to 10 years to get all the CE markings, to get all the tests to make sure that material is safe and can be used in the medicine. And then, of course, the patient care. This is very important challenge because still the doctors, they are not sure how to use this new material and what to do with that. Also, the patients are not sure, is it safe enough and is it good for them? But however, the main thing what we are talking about here, it's a biomimicry actually. This is the method how we learn from the nature in doing different things. This started even from the old centuries. For example, Velcro invented one Swiss engineer who saw how the burr sticks to his dog fur. Then, for example, airplanes was invented from the birds, and the same spider silk. So I think the main thing is here that we do not need to find some new solutions. We do not need to find another wheel. We just need to learn from the nature, because nature has already everything what we need. And actually from the nature we can learn and get the best things. And as I close, I just want to return back now to that forest where we saw that spider silk. And next time when you will be afraid of spiders, just imagine that someday in future the spiders actually can save your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very fascinating to learn all about this spider silk. I would like to kindly invite you to post your questions using Slido. I have a question. You have mentioned many ways to use spider silk, many benefits of it. Are there any challenges that prevent us from applying spider silk into mainstream medical practice?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned already, first of all, scaling. This is the main challenge, how to scale actually to produce biomimetic spider silk, because there are some companies nowadays who are producing spider silk for the clothing, but this is completely different material. It's not biocompatible and this cannot be used in human body. So to scale up the material which can be used in human body, this is quite another topic and quite difficult. And then, of course, the clinical trials, it's always hard.
Can you think of a country where spider silk is really being used already at its best?
Well, actually, it's America and Japan. But however, in Europe, actually, we have one quite big spider silk producer. It's in Germany. But they produce spider silk, which is widely used for the clothing industry, actually for luxury clothing.
So it's very interesting to see that you actually came to it in Latvia, right? So how did you come about to it?
Yeah, we actually are a spin-off from Latvian Institute of Organic Synthesis, and our scientists, they were working for more than 10 years to develop the technology, how we could obtain spider silk in the biomimetic way. It means that they actually do everything what spiders do in the nature, but in lab. And the main thing is that this material which we produce, it's of course biocompatible and so on, but it's also a very green production method. We do not use any solvents, only water. And this exact material can be used in the human body. Also, I have some sample.
Oh, you have it here with us. Wow.
So if someone is interested to check how spider silk looks like, you are welcome.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, please huge applause for Jekaterina Romanova. If you would like to look at the spider silk, please contact her. Thank you very much.